Welcome back to our channel. My name is Teacher Smith and today we are going to understand a very interesting topic of volumes. Now to understand the topic, let's take an example question. Question says, the figure shows the amount of water in two rectangular containers X and Y. Ray poured 1/5 of the water from X into Y to fill it up to top without overflowing. Now it's asking me two questions. Let's focus on the first question. How much water was there in X at first? Now let's try to analyze the question. Question says, Ray, from this water, he only put 1/5 into tank Y. After putting it into tank Y, now tank Y is completely full. But I need to find out how much water was there at X at first. This means before pouring. This means here from X 1/5 water is taken and put here. But the challenge is, if I want to find out how much water, how do we calculate how much water we have? What is the quantity? Yes, this means we need to calculate how much volume it had. Now to find out volume, which are the three things that we need? Yes, length, width and height. Here for tank X, we know length, we know width. But to calculate the volume, do we know its height? Height is difficult to calculate. It's not even given here. But it says 1/5 is taken from here all the way to here. For Y, all the values are given if you observe. Length, width and height. But what happens when we put this 1/5 to Y? Yes, it becomes completely full. So this means I can compare the extra volume of water here in Y. Can I find out the volume in Y? Yes, this extra part we can find out, right? We know the base area, that is 15 times 12, and we also know its height. So I can calculate volume in Y, that is nothing but 15 times 12 times 8, and if we solve it, it's simply 1440 centimeter cube. This means the volume of water here is 1440. From where did I get this volume from? Yes, this water has come from X. And this X is just a complete of X or just 1/5? It's just 1/5 of X. This means this 1/5 corresponds to this 1440. Can I find out what was the volume at first? Yes, if 1/5 represent 1440, then entire volume is nothing but 5 parts. So it's simply volume in X is 1440 times 5, which is nothing but equal to 7200 centimeter cube. So here we know what is the volume that X had at first. It had 7200 centimeter cube. This completes our first part of the question. Now moving on to the next part, part B. Here part B says, Ray then poured all the water from Y into X. 120 cubic centimeter of water overflowed from X. What was the height of X? Here the situation is now, from Y, water is poured into X and some water is overflowed, and I want to calculate height of X. Now just observe, if I want to calculate height of X, if we pour the water from Y all the way to X, what happens? X will overflow till top and then some water will move outside. If it flows till top, if I need to find out its height, how can I find out its height? Which value do we need to find out height? Yes, we just need to find out volume. If I know the volume of the entire tank, I know its base area. So I can just divide the volume by base area to calculate its height. But the challenge is how to find out its volume. Now for this, let's consider an example. Look here. Let's say if I have two glasses, and in these two glasses I have some water here, some water here. Now I pour some water into the first one. Now from second one, I pour the some water from the first one. If I do this, in this entire process, what remains the same? Even if I put water from A to B or B to A, the entire volume of water still remains the same, right? This means if I exchange any of the value from here to here, here to here, volume remains the same. Similarly, here also in this our question, from Y, the volume is put into X. Here, can I find out what is the volume that X had? Yes, we already found out, right? X had nothing but how much? X had 7,200. Can I find out what is the volume in here? Can I find out? Yes, we can. We know its length, width and height, and the total volume actually remains the same. So I can find out what the volume is in Y. So volume in Y is nothing but 15 times 12 times 14. And if I simply calculate it, it's 2520 centimeter cube. Now as I said, in X and Y, X had 7,200, Y had 2520. If I pour water from Y to X, X will completely fill up. And 120 meters, 120 cm cube is extra. So can I find out what is the volume in X? Yes, we are just mixing up. Mixing up means we are just adding up the volumes. So volume in full tank of X is nothing but 7200 plus 2520. But some part is moving out. So we can remove that part from the entire volume to get for X. So if I simply calculate it, it's simply 9,600 centimeter cube. So this is the volume of the full tank in X. Now, can I find out what is the height of X? Yes, volume is known. To find out height of X, we just need to divide it with base area. Base area is nothing but 20 times 15. So 9,600 divided by the base area, and if I solve it, it's just 32 centimeter. This means the height of tank X is nothing but 32 centimeter. So here in this question, the most important part that we need to remember is, for X and Y, they had their own values. But even if you put water from X to Y or Y to X, the entire volume remains the same. So whenever you have question based on volumes and it tells you about 2 or 3 different quantities, so the volume differences, if you have questions, you can solve it considering everything as one. This is nothing but concept of unity. You can consider all the cases as just one, whether it's 2 or 3. Consider every volume as just one unit and then try to solve it by observing the difference. Here the difference was just 120 cm cube. So whenever you have questions, just remember these things and you can easily solve. Now, if you have any doubts or any suggestions, because this question was from our PSLE diagnostic book. So if you have any questions regarding PSLE diagnostic book, you can scan the QR code. It's my personal WhatsApp number. You can contact me anytime for any doubts. Now, if you want to watch more exciting content on P5 PSLE or P6 PSLE, you can follow our channel Kangaroo Studies. Here, scan the QR code and follow us. Now, it's time to say goodbye. I am Teacher Smith, signing off right now, but I'll see you in the next video.